What if I told you that the most powerful military force in human history was never supposed to fight a single war? 75 years ago, 12 countries signed a piece of paper in Washington, D.C., and the world changed forever. Today, NATO controls the largest combined military in history. Over 3 million soldiers, nuclear arsenals, and a budget that dwarfs the GDP of most nations. But here's the question no one is asking. Does NATO still protect the world, or does it now threaten it? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how military alliances have reshaped every border, every war, and every power struggle on this planet. Why do countries form alliances at all? Is it loyalty, friendship, or simply fear? Let's go back. The year is 1648. The 30 Years' War has just ended. Europe is devastated. And for the first time, European powers sit down together and agree. We need rules. This was the Peace of Westphalia, and it created the modern nation-state system. But rules without enforcement, meaningless. So nations began grouping together. If you attack one of us, you attack all of us. Fast forward to 1914. The alliance system of Europe, the Triple Alliance versus the Triple Entente, was so tightly wound that the assassination of a single archduke triggered a world war that killed 20 million people. Could alliances themselves cause wars? That's the dark irony. Systems built for protection can become engines of destruction. After World War II, the United States faced a new threat. Not Germany, not Japan, but the Soviet Union, armed with nuclear weapons and an ideology that promised to sweep capitalism from the earth. On April 4, 1949, NATO was born. 12 nations, one promise. An attack on one is an attack on all. So what is NATO? Is it just a phone call between presidents, or something far more powerful? NATO today has 32 member states, from tiny Iceland, which has no standing army, to the United States, which spends more on defense than the next 10 countries combined. Every member is legally bound by Article 5, the Collective Defense Clause. In 70 years, it has been invoked exactly once. Do you know when? September 12, 2001, the day after the September 11th attacks. It wasn't Russia that triggered Article 5. It was Al-Qaeda. NATO operates through a complex command structure. The Supreme Allied Commander Europe, always an American general, controls NATO's military operations. The Secretary General, always a European, handles the politics. There's a 2% rule. Every member must spend at least 2% of its GDP on defense. Yet, as of 2024, only 23 of 32 members meet this target. The United States pays roughly 70% of NATO's total defense costs. Is that fair? Or is America being taken advantage of? NATO's nuclear sharing program places American nuclear weapons in 5 European countries: Belgium, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, and Turkey. Think about that. German pilots trained to drop American nuclear bombs. Does that make Europe safer, or does it make nuclear war more likely? Here's where it gets dangerous. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, NATO had a choice: dissolve or expand. It chose to expand, eastward, toward Russia's border. In 1999, former Soviet states Poland, Hungary, and Czech Republic joined NATO. Then in 2004, 7 more countries joined, including the Baltic states, right on Russia's doorstep. Moscow warned repeatedly that this was a red line, that NATO expansion was an existential threat. Western leaders largely dismissed these warnings. Then came 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. Was this madness? Or the inevitable result of 30 years of broken promises and expanding borders? And now China watches carefully. Beijing has formed its own partnerships with Russia, with Iran, with North Korea. A shadow alliance is forming, and the question haunting every military strategist today is, are we drifting toward a new world war? NATO was built to prevent a conflict between great powers. Today, it may be one miscalculation away from starting one. So here's the final question I want you to sit with. In a world of nuclear weapons, rising powers, and shifting alliances, does NATO make us safer? Or has it become a tripwire for the most catastrophic war in human history? History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. And right now, it's rhyming very, very loudly. If you want to understand how we got here and where we're going, then you're in the right place. This channel, War and Military History, breaks down the wars, the strategies, and the secret decisions that shaped our world. Every week, we go deeper. If this video made you think, hit that subscribe button. Share it with someone who needs to understand the world they're living in. And leave a comment below. Do you think NATO makes the world safer or more dangerous? I read every reply. I'll see you in the next one.